Ollie, talk to me about that Liverpool game. Because don't get me wrong, there were some great things going forward. I thought Wirtz Ekitike looks a serious player. Salah wasn't really in it, but obviously got his goal right at the end. Gakpo, nice goal. But I think the talking point is defensively.
Yeah.
Because we saw it against Palace, they threw away a lead twice. And again, first day of the season, threw away a 2-0 lead at home against Bournemouth. Worrying signs?
I think that it's definitely raising some concern to me in terms of the style of play this season. Obviously, I think it all started when we brought in Frimpong and Kirkez as our fullbacks. I think we knew a big shift was about to happen. And I think we've seen the sort of early signs of like, we need some adaptation to this. Obviously, those guys love to bomb on, leaving Virgil and Konate just so like on their own. And I think we saw as well, we missed Gravenberch, definitely. Because I see him as kind of dropping into that back three, and then there's a bit more defensive cover there. But yeah, I think that defensively, we saw some worrying signs, and Konate in particular had a really rough game.
Yeah. Do you think that defensive midfield position is slowly becoming almost the most important position in football? We've seen Man City without Rodri. We've seen other teams, when they lose their defensive midfielder, you just lose that stability, you lose that core, you lose that steel kind of in that position, and it affects the entire team.
Definitely.
So do you think Gravenberch is potentially that, that main focal point that when you take him out, everything just looks shaky? Do you think him coming back in will kind of put it back together in a way?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think I've heard before, like that position is like the firefighter of the team. So it's like when you're kind of having to defend, that's just an extra body in there who's going to clean up some stuff before it gets to the point where the defense needs to like take care of it. So yeah, I think I really agree. That's such an important position. And even going forward as well, that we've seen Gravenberch likes to progress the ball, Zubimendi at Arsenal, Rodri at Man City. I think it is such a pivotal position in the team now. So yeah, I think he was a really big miss with us. I think hopefully against Newcastle, we'll see a better Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, early signs a little bit concerning. But I think the positives I took away from that game is we're going to be so much fun to watch. Like, even if we are conceding, we are going to be really fun to watch. We're going to score loads of goals. There might be some games where we win 3-2, 4-2, like on Friday, but it's going to be an exciting, fun style to watch.
100%. Yeah, I said as well, I said it before the Bournemouth game. I think Liverpool are going to win a lot of games 3-2, 3-1, 4-2. Like, there's going to be a lot of goals. It wouldn't surprise me if they scored a record amount of goals in the league. But I think they'll concede a lot of goals if they don't shore up the defence.
Credit to Bournemouth, because they are just, the way they win the ball back is crazy. And Semenyo as well. I'm not going to lie, he had Kirkez strings at points. Like,
got him booked and taken off.
Yeah. His power, it is so powerful. And obviously as well with everything that happened during the game, credit to him, because he really, he took to the game by the scruff of the neck. So in hindsight, maybe not the easiest game to start the season with, but we got the 3 points, and that's all I'm worried about. Yeah, so one of my takeaways is Man City have just done it again. They've just picked up one of the greatest midfield players could be in the world in Reinders.
Well, you say it could be. He was a Serie A player of the season last year.
Yeah, in a season where AC Milan weren't even that great.
I know.
And he's still obviously shone. I can't say I knew a whole lot about him before he joined Man City, but on Saturday, oh my God, I was just stunned about how good he was. His play with the other players around him, linking up play, obviously got 2 assists as well, scored a goal on his debut. I mean, genuinely, that has got to be one of the most impressive debuts from a player in a while. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan, and I was excited to see Florian Wirtz. I've got to say, Reinders was more of a, wow, this is a serious player here than Wirtz was this weekend.
No, I agree with you. I agree. That was my takeaway from the weekend, was Tijjani Reinders. I think he's incredible. Like you say, the link-up plays, the dribbling. There was a little time when he literally left foot, it was almost like a flip-flap in between 2 players, then played it through. I think that was the assist before the assist for Haaland's first goal. And then, there was another assist. Obviously, he got his goal, taking it on his left foot.
Yeah.
Just dominated the game. And it was almost... He does Rodri's role in a way where he does the defensive duties, but he also does De Bruyne's role, where he's getting forward, he's getting on the end of things, he's getting assists, he's creating, he's scoring goals. And Gundogan. Like, do you know what I mean? He's got a Gundogan ability to his game as well. Like, it's how they've replaced 3 players in one.
Crazy.
He's 27 years old, so he's an experienced player. Obviously, Netherlands international. So I'd be lying if I said I've watched loads of him, but I've seen him play, especially international football, and I've been like, this guy looks like a good player. But players can just explode under Pep Guardiola, right? Like, if you come in and you have the mentality, you have the ability, and then you have the best coach maybe ever right there telling you this is what you have to do to take your game from here to here.
Yeah.
It's just like a perfect storm in a way, and that's what it seems like with Reinders.
Yeah. Also, it's the fact that Guardiola was a midfielder. It feels like he just knows how to work with those midfield players. He was so impressive. So I've got a question for you. Do you think he will like solidly start for Man City? Because you know what Pep is like with his rotation of players. Do you think he'll become that undroppable player like De Bruyne was, Rodri is? Or do you think that Pep will sort of still rotate depending on who the opposition is, the where they are in the game and stuff like that?
I think it depends on Rodri's fitness. If Rodri comes back and is 100%, then I think maybe Reinders maybe becomes a bit more rotated. But I think if he's putting in performances like that every week, then there's no chance.
Yeah. Because
we saw it when De Bruyne and Rodri were both fit and both at their best, they were undroppable. And then maybe you have a Foden in there. Maybe Foden will then move out to the right. Bernardo and Silva come. Do you know what I mean? Like, all the rest would rotate.
Yeah.
Some would be staple. Like, Bernardo Silva did become a staple when he was playing at his best. So look, Cherki didn't even start. Cherki came off the bench.
Yeah.
Marmoush didn't start. He came off the bench. So I still don't think Pep necessarily knows what his best 11 is.
Yeah.
But when a player like Reinders puts in a performance like that, he's telling Pep, I'm in your best 11.
Yeah.
So
let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, does Reinders start every game? Is he rotation? I don't know.
Yeah, interesting one.
All right, but I want to talk about Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea fans have been giving it, talking a lot. And to be honest, after they won the Conference League, you could see that they can get over the line in terms of the final or a competition, but it was only the Conference League. Then they won the Club World Cup, and it was like, right, the competition of the Club World Cup is a lot stronger, a lot fiercer than the Conference League. They beat PSG in the final. Although people say it's a tired PSG, they had a long season, won the treble, blah, blah, blah. But they won it, world champions. So I feel like there was so much noise and so much excitement going into this opening day from Chelsea fans.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I said, I felt it as well. I looked at their squad. I see a solid together midfield, although I'm not sure if Lavia replaces Enzo in that midfield to make their best midfield. I really rate Lavia.
Yeah.
I think some Chelsea fans would agree, some wouldn't. But Cole Palmer, Caicedo is obviously quality. The options they brought in terms of Delap, Pedro. Obviously, defensively, there's still problems. Cole will tear in his ACL. Can James stay fit? Is Tosin kind of good enough to start? Achim Pong now started centre-back. Cucurella's good left-back. They brought in Joao Hato. So this is where with Chelsea, I was, I see it, but there's also so many questions. So I was like, let me look at that game, right? They're playing Crystal Palace first day of the season. Palace also had a game last week against Liverpool. And then Chelsea have also had Club World Cup. So there's so much to it. But then I watched them yesterday. And I have to say, it kind of looked like Chelsea of last season. There was quality at times. They created chances. The midfield clicked at times. Palmer had moments. There was moments towards the end. They created more towards the end. But Palace also, went toe-to-toe and matched them. Eze was impressive. Obviously, I don't know if you saw the free kick that got ruled out.
Oh. That's the second time that's happened, isn't it? It happened against Brentford last season. Yeah. He scored a banger on the first day of the season, got ruled out. Yeah, which again, so look, poor guy.
It's ridiculous. Like, how can you score a direct free kick and it gets ruled out for what your teammate's behind the wall? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, they have brought in this new rule that you have to be a metre away from the wall when the free kick is taken. So if it's as it's kicked, you have to be a metre away and then you can move closer. But
impacting the game.
Yeah, so was it Cucurella that he's pushing or whoever he's pushing out of the way? I see both sides, man. I'm torn with it. Like, I don't want to see goals ruled out for that.
Especially like the whole decision to sort of intervene. Is it a clear and obvious error?
Well, no. Well, this is the rule. This is the rule now, that you can't be within a metre of the wall. So VAR have looked and said they've gone against the rules. Gahey is in within a metre of the wall and he's pushed Cucurella out of the way. So they've ruled it out. Because the referee even came on the speaker with the thing and said it.
Going back onto Chelsea though, their front line looks really good, but didn't necessarily click entirely in the way that they would have liked to have seen. Like you were saying, I was hearing a lot from Chelsea fans about we look so fluid in attack. João Pedro's going to be like a great player, whatever. I still think they've got some good fixtures coming up, and we will see it.
Yeah,
Maybe it was just the opposition of Palace that was actually quite a tricky game to start the season with. But not the best performance from Chelsea.
Yeah, no, Palace are a good team. Saw that against Liverpool last week.
Yeah.
Saw it, obviously, they won the FA Cup last year. Yeah, just thinking about Chelsea's attack, I don't know if it's a title-winning team. I don't know if... Look, João Pedro's come in and done well, but I feel like Chelsea fans have gone way over the top with him. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But it's João Pedro. It's not... Do you know what I mean? It's not Kylian Mbappe. People kind of are thinking it might be. It's not. It's not. Liam Delap, this is, he's just joined a big club. A lot of pressure on him. Coming in from Ipswich. Yeah, I don't know. I still have questions about Pedro Neto's consistency. Gittins coming in from Dortmund into a new league. There's questions.
Yeah, sure.
They look fluid at times, obviously, in the Club World Cup, but will it translate to the league? They drew 0-0 at home yesterday, and a game they probably should be winning if you want to win the title. So, yeah, pressure's on them.
Got a bone to pick with you.
Go on.
Set piece FC.
Set piece FC.
Oh, mate.
Ole, ole. I said it. I was on the watch along, and I said literally right before we scored, I said, let's see. Are we still set piece FC? We see Declan Rice whip it in. Good ball in, by the way, straight on Bayern there. Little bit of tussling. Question of a foul. I think it probably was a foul, because if you look at it back, Saliba's got Mason Mount's shirt kind of up. You can see Mason Mount's whole back, and he's got his right arm in behind his stomach. But, if physicality sometimes to get away with, you can tussle a little bit in the box, and then Bayern flaps at it, falls on Calafiori's head, and set piece FC win the game 1-0.
Really interesting.
That's all there is. We don't even have to talk about it.
I know, we definitely do have to talk about it. Interestingly, I was watching Match of the Day 2 last night, and they had Joe Hart on. He was talking about it, and he obviously said about the rule is you can't push, the keeper can't push Saliba, so you can't just be like, fucking get out of my way. But he could have got Mount in between and pushed Mount, who then shoves into Saliba to get him out of the way. So he was sort of on the lines of the keeper's setup wasn't correct. And then they showed an example of Raya on a corner who did exactly the right thing. Like they had the man in the way, got it out, set himself up right, and kind of clipped it over the bar.
Yeah.
But my thing is, mate, is how much longer can Arsenal go on just scoring set pieces?
Don't just score set.
I thought no. Just was the wrong phrase, but I saw a stat on Match of the Day that said you've scored 32 goals from corners since the start of 2023 season.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, mate. But at some point, once teams start to figure that out,
They've had 2 years to figure it out, Ollie. They still haven't.
yeah, but it's inevitably going to happen at some point that those goals from corners will decrease. I believe people are going to figure that setup out more. And then at that point, what do you do then?
Well, we still score goals from open play.
Yeah, you do, but corners are a big part of how you score goals.
But what's wrong with that? It's part of the game. This is what I'm getting.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that when that asset is not there anymore,
Well, then we need to figure out a way to obviously
that's
score
my
other
question.
goals.
That's my question.
Throughout pre-season, I think we only scored from one set piece. We scored 4 goals against Newcastle. I don't think there's a set piece in there. I think the only set piece was against Villarreal, which was Christian Norgard at the back post.
But your goal, Gyökeres's goal against Bilbao came from a corner that you then clipped in.
So is this where it's going now? Oh, so if there was a corner, this is like the meter thing we were just talking about. If there was a corner within 12 seconds of the goal, is that still count as a set piece?
Well, no, but it's still like essentially
It's a cross into the box with a header.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this is where it's going to go with Arsenal as well, because when we stop scoring set pieces, you only score from headers, you only score from ball. It doesn't matter how you score goals. If you score goals and you win the game, essentially that's That's football.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. I kind of get your point.
Yeah.
But if we're good at set pieces, the best in Europe at set pieces, and we have some people in the box who are incredible. We have some of the best. It's not even just the heading in the box; it's the taking of the set piece. Declan Rice, when he whips that ball in on the right, and Bukayo Saka, the way they put the ball into the box, the technique is ridiculous. That's almost more important than what's going on in the middle. So you can call us Stoke, or you can call us whatever. But the delivery, the quality of the delivery is the most important thing on the set piece.
But are you trying to argue that you think that Arsenal's set piece reliance is a reason why they haven't won the title? Or is it an asset or is it a...
Oh, it's true. Don't get me wrong, it's a massive asset right now. But I do think at some point that things will level out. They will get figured out on set pieces. And then that... Seen at the weekend, they won 1-0. The goal was from a set piece. They don't score that set piece, they draw that game. Potentially, Man United go on to win that game as well. They were good on Sunday, but I don't think it's a reason why they've not won the title. I just think that it's a reason why they could not win the next title. Is because if that levels out and they stop scoring from set pieces, where are the goals coming from?
I think that's why we brought in Gyökeres. Because he's not... People talk about his heading stats and heading numbers, headed goals, and that's not his strengths. I know he scored the header against Bilbao, which was a nice header, but he's a guy that wants it on the floor, wants it in behind, wants to play on the shoulder. I don't think we've brought him in to score headers. I think we brought him in to be a finisher and play like that. And it's not Arteta's game just to score set pieces. He wants to get Saka in positions where he's going to score on his left and Martinelli to cut in and Odegaard take shots from the edge of the box. We saw it a few times yesterday.
Yeah.
Arsenal didn't play well at all, but we got the win. And sometimes if you want to win leagues and you want to, be champions, we saw it with Liverpool last season. Games when they didn't play well and they scraped over the line and you get the result. Even on Friday, we saw it from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily play that well. It was 2-2, 88th minute, they made a sub. They got a goal, they ended up winning the game 4-2. So sometimes you have to scrape through or find that bit of quality or that substitution from somewhere. Yesterday we scraped it, but I want to give United credit as well. I think they really impressed me. I think they set up really well. I've said I think Amorim's a good coach. I really do. What this guy did at Sporting, what he did to some of the players as well, like Victor Gyökeres. He turned Victor Gyökeres into one of the most lethal strikers in Europe. And in terms of yesterday, Dorgu really impressed me down the left. I think the stamina and fitness on that guy, getting up and down the entire game, hit the post with a shot. Bruno Fernandes, I feel like, was dictating the game at times. Casemiro, there was no sign of him being leggy or old. Like, he just looked, I'm not going to say back to his best because I don't think he'll ever be back to his best, but he looked good in the midfield. Mason Mount, I feel like, was doing good things, holding the ball up well, making good runs into the channels. And Burmo and Cunha. There's questions if they were going to work in this team. And I thought Cunha in that first half especially was their best player. He was a handful.
Cunha was the one for me. Like, he just looked so confident in there. And there was some lovely little flicks that he played. Like, there was a touch that he had that he just created this bit of
and then he just went past Ben White like he wasn't there.
Yeah, I think he's the one where I think he has like that confidence in himself enough to like, he will be a good player there, and he suits United as well.
Yeah, he does.
Mbeumo, like, interestingly, I didn't think he looked incredible yesterday, but I think he will prove to be a good signing. And what did you think of Sesko as well coming off the bench?
Yeah, I feel like he didn't have enough time. And I feel like they almost changed their style when he came on. It was weird. It was like in the first half, there was so many balls that United put into the box where Mason Mount was in the middle. And then I feel like when Sesko came on, they almost played on the floor a little bit more, and it became like playing it around. But I think that's because Arsenal sat back a little bit. So, yeah, not long enough to really judge him. There was a couple of nice touches. But we've got to give these guys time, man. Like, you can't judge a player off 20. You know what social media is like. People will. Oh, he's done nothing. He had 20. Calm down. Especially with Sesko because he's younger. Maybe Gyökeres you can judge a bit more because he's 27. He's coming to do it now. But then again, Sesko's been brought in for more money. So you just need to take time with these players. I don't think we can rush it. But the thing I took from yesterday in terms of United was definitely positive signs.
Yeah.
Definitely a system that works a bit more. I think that distance between their midfielders and their attackers looked a lot more solid. If anything, Arsenal were the ones that looked way more open in midfield. I feel like with their extra sharpness, they could have had 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah.
Cunha had a chance where he's in behind and Burma in behind. So yeah, good signs for United. Worrying signs for Arsenal, but I think that's Arsenal at their worst, and still managed to get a win away at Man United. So if it can only get better from there, sometimes you've got to scrape those and you move on.
True.
And lastly, on to about Spurs.
Yeah.
3-0 against Burnley.
Aggressive little win for top.
Yeah, look, it is Burnley at home, but your man, Fred, if anyone doesn't know, Fred's a big West Ham fan behind the camera. Mohamed Kudus, this guy, I feel a little bit embarrassed on Kudus because I think when we did the video about biggest disappointment, I might have put Kudus because I didn't know if he fit into the system, but this guy is a serious player. Yeah. Honestly, that first assist for Richarlison's goal, when he's standing still and then boom, straight on his left foot, cutting on the right foot. I can't remember if that was the first goal or second. Was that second goal? Richarlison, beautiful finish. Oh, man. But yeah, Kudus was a handful all day. He was just Spurs' most dangerous player. I think if he can... The thing is, Thomas Frank turned Mbeumo into a 20-goal Premier League winger. If he can do anything similar with Kudus, that is a serious player. Because we saw Kudus in his first season at West Ham was quality. Obviously, last season wasn't quite the same. But yeah, Kudus looks impressive.
What's really interesting on Kudus, since you mentioned Mbeumo, Kudus' problem is he's not a great finisher, is he? He doesn't have that killer instinct. And I remember Brentford with Mbeumo, he was on a run. I think it was their first season in the Prem where he just kept hitting the post and his finishing didn't look good at all. And then obviously Thomas Frank managed to get the best out of him. So where you're saying that, that's actually quite a good comparison because maybe he can get that out of Kudus as well, that just having that killer instinct. Yeah. And I think Solanke, when he comes back as well, is going to be a real serious asset to Spurs. Yeah. You see what they did with Frank did with Ivan Toney. They're very sort of in the same mould. So yeah, they could be an interesting team this season. Yeah, for sure.
And Richarlison as well. I've never thought Richarlison's a bad player. I thought he was good at Everton. I don't think he was necessarily deserving of a £60 million move or whatever it was to Spurs. But I have to say, Frank's getting a tune out of him. The 2 goals he scored were quality. I think he was also good in the Super Cup against PSG. So if he can keep getting better, I know Spurs fans really like him. I was speaking to my friend who's a good Spurs fan yesterday. He said everyone's behind him, all the fans. 2 quality goals, look good again. I think Solanke's going to struggle to get back into that team if Richarlison keeps performing like that. And then, they've also got exciting players. I know, they've got Tell, who's still only 19.
Yeah.
Brennan Johnson came on and scored. Odebear still yet to come into this squad. And if they can sign an Eze, and I don't think Savinho is going to happen, but I think Eze will. Spurs look exciting, man. Yeah, they could be challenging for top 8, top 6.
They're playing
Champions League place.
They're playing Man City this weekend. So yeah, that's obviously the first proper test to them. So I'll be interested to see how they get on. What do you think might happen in that match?
In Spurs City?
Yeah.
It's going to be a juicy one.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good game. I think it'll be close. I think Spurs will give them where is it?
At the Etihad.
It's at the Etihad.
I think Spurs will give them a really good game. I think there'll be goals.
Thomas Frank as well had a great record at Brentford against City as well. I remember Tony scored a really good goal there when they were running hot. Man City were. So yeah, it will be interesting. I still think City, based on how they played on Saturday, I can't see them not doing it. But I think Spurs will give them a real good test.
Yeah, I hope for the sake of Arsenal that City, it was just a one-off against Burnley. So I would like to see Spurs go toe-to-toe and City kind of crumble a little bit. I think there's weaknesses in City's team, for sure. I think, right back's a problem. Vardy was out, so, Stones and Diaz, if Stones can stay fit, it's a good partnership. But defensively there's problems. Like I said, I don't think Pep necessarily knows who their best team is.
No.
But I want to see those frailties that we saw from City last season. Otherwise, it could be a long season for the rest of the league. So it's going to be an interesting game. But yeah, all right, people, that's our 5 things we learned from this weekend. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and we'll see you in the next one.